Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the PEP Talk. And we got another great episode coming in hand for you guys today. But always with me, fellas, how are you?
I'll go first this time. I'm doing well. Thank you, Jeff. Good to see you, Nico. I'm always excited to spend a little time talking to you guys about all things packaging.
Yep.
Great to see you guys.
Let's jump into our topic today. Today, we're going to be talking about QR codes and the smart packaging. And I'm going to let you guys decide who wants to go first on this one because I know you guys got something brewing. So you guys go ahead and take it off.
Yeah, Nico, I'll let you kick it off because when we were starting to discuss this topic and what we wanted to talk about, we all three of us had a little bit of a different idea of how QR codes can be deployed and used by a brand in order to enhance that end user experience. So I'm gonna let Nico take the reins on the first run.
Okay. The first thing that came to my mind when we were talking about smart packaging or using QR codes for packaging is how you can extend the experience of what is inside the package. And a lot of brands are using it properly, and a lot of brands are missing the opportunity of this amazing tool. For example, if you are freedom packaging and we are offering something and we just put the information of our website, we're losing a lot of opportunity of going directly to different markets and segments. Or let's say you sell fresh produce and you just put on the back that you find a specific product type, the information of the website instead of recipes to do with that specific product or the history behind of how this is being harvested. Let's say it's they have an organic approach or eco-friendly approach. So you can tell a lot of stories. So you need to take advantage of digitalization because you're limited on what you can put on the package, but not on what you can put on a landing page. And
Agreed.
This came to my mind when remembering when menus and restaurants start to be with QR codes. And sometimes nowadays I open a menu and the menu is a boring PDF text menu. I'm saying like, you have all the world of internet to show me the plate, how can I eat it? Like sell it to me with graphics, and they put a boring PDF text. That's laziness. But when you can open the image, and sometimes people put it with reviews from Google or Yelp or whatever, so you get really into that, and the experience continue once you open the information. If you're going to provide information, it needs to add value to your experience. If you're not doing that, you're wasting the opportunity.
Yeah. I mean, and that's a great point. But I think in those restaurants' defense, they were just scrambling to try to figure out how they were going to stay in business, right? So they're like, "Hey, do you want to add graphics and videos to the menu?" It's like, just do something so we can open our doors, right? But I mean, that was such a weird time. If we just stopped and looked at COVID and how we all went sideways, it's going to be studied for a long time.
No, but that's why I was saying nowadays you can still open a menu that is only text.
So now that they have time,
it all started. In the pandemic, it all started with how you communicate through Zoom and a lot of things that we're experiencing as new. But nowadays, people still don't use that advantage, or they put a PDF menu with a small graphics. You sell by the eye, so use all the graphics, use all the tools on hand. And you don't have to spend a lot of money on photographers, in content designers. You can use AI. So there's a lot of ways to, or just an enhancer of an app with enhancer photography, whatever, to make it look more nice, the picture of the burger or the pasta.
Yep.
I'm with you. You see, you're making me hungry just saying burgers and pasta. Another great way that you could use QR codes that I've always thought of, especially because of my digital flex pack background, is creating an individual QR code for each product or each individual SKU or bag or item that's going out there. That sounds a lot like you're making each individual package unique, but with digital packaging you could do that. Obviously there's no plates, there's no separation, so you can make each individual package unique pretty quickly and it doesn't slow down speed. And there's certain items that have like a traceability that is either required by the government or maybe you just want to know, kind of piggybacking off of your point of like if you have an organic story, like in the cannabis market, they're required traceability to say, hey, where did you acquire your seeds? Where were they planted? Where were they grown? Where were they harvested? Where were they trimmed? Where were they packed out? Where did they go? So you could follow an individual item, like let's say you're buying, an eighth of an ounce of marijuana in flour. You could see where that flour, like where the seed came from. Maybe it's Amsterdam or wherever. You could follow that path if you wanted to. I've even seen it on meat, be like, hey, this particular steak was from a cow on this farm and it was free range and all of these different things. It was not kept into, like veal, where it wasn't just trapped in a box for like its first 2 years and then killed or something like that. So there's a lot of opportunity to do individual product tracing if you're employing digital flex pack. Now, if you are deploying digital flex pack, maybe the whole package would run way too slow if you have large volumes. But what you could do is print the majority of that package, everything on that package via Flexo, for example. And then you're just running that black and white QR code digitally. So it would run faster because it's only one color, and still do that even if you have large runs. There's a way to deploy digital as a last step for your QR codes. And that's, again, just giving the end user, like we're saying, the opportunity to learn more about the product that they're purchasing. And it's a great opportunity for them to do so. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about with QR code, just from my digital background.
If I understand your approach, it sounds more like a enhance of the barcode.
Yeah.
With all the traceability that you were saying, like what the next horizons, the next version, the 2.0 of the barcode is what you are describing with the QR code, like the traceability, like connecting a lot of information that you cannot do with a barcode. You can do it, the QR code can do the barcode purpose plus a lot of more.
Yeah,
For
exactly.
sure.
So I think in the future, like as digital flex pack right now, it runs at like 200, 300 feet per minute, where Flexo's running at 1600, Rotogravier's running at 2000 feet per minute. There's such a big speed gap that the impact of digital isn't getting fully felt because it's not being used by larger CPGs because their volume demands are just too high to run that slow. But as digital flex pack increases its speed, and let's say they could get up to 1,000 feet, yeah, it's still not 1600 feet per minute, it's 1,000 feet, but you could deploy that for a lot of different things. So as digital flex pack speeds increase, you're going to see a lot more individualization in packaging, which I think is really exciting, even to the point to where if you're buying something online, maybe they're individualizing that to you, where like you buy, we were just talking about Legos, like, hey Tom, here's your brand new Lego set. It's like printed on the carton or in the bag or something like that. They could really get clever with that to create that individual end user experience, which is pretty exciting.
And to your point, whenever you were talking about marijuana and being able to track where that seed comes from and everything else, I think that to me is very important because that builds that trust aspect. You know what I mean? And in that frame of building a QR code, it's not just having a QR code, and kind of like what Nico was saying at the very beginning of this episode is like, you don't want it just to be this bland aspect. You want it to really be enlightening. You want it to be trustworthy. You want it to just be everything that you need right in one click. And so I think what that has in the very beginning, what Tom was saying about that tracking, having that trust, the trust is the biggest thing for me, at least, whenever I'm looking at it. And let's just connect that to Coca-Cola. They have a QR code where you can track how they recycle. They give you recycling tips, and they also have a rewards point system. To me, that's huge. Okay, now I'm always going to want to use that QR code, and that right there is drastically huge in the marketing world. So again, always start with trust, and if you can build that, you're going to go somewhere with that QR code.
Interesting. I didn't even know Coke had a rewards program. How do I not know that?
You're not drinking Coke anymore. You're drinking La Croix.
Yeah, La Croix.
La Croix.
La Croix.
No, I just, something came to my mind. We often talk about Costa Rica because Tom lives there for a while, and I have traveled a couple of times. And there's the volcanoes in that country. You can go to the website and see live what is happening on the volcano. Sometimes to avoid doing all the driving to get where it's completely foggy, but to the experience that you can do with packaging and QR codes. Let's say Tom was talking about this is a meat company, and this is where the cows are grow and whatever. So let's imagine that you can share, not necessarily a live cam, but you can show how the cows are living. Like every time you go to the QR code, you will see a different footage of what is happening at the farm. So you can control the narrative and share the experience. So, oh, this is grown by local people. So you can have a screenshot, not a screenshot, a short video of how it's being harvested. So you get into that, as Jeff was mentioning, like you get connected and get into trust that what you are being selling is true. It's like, oh no, is this organic because I said so? No, it's organic because this. Free range is like they're not running in circles. They have more space to to do things. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Especially in the food world where there's so much traceability required. Like, remember when we were on the tour of the plant in Mexico, like each person that was cutting and trimming broccoli, they scan, like for their container, they scan their own personal code, and then they scan that like that big container of broccoli that's already been trimmed before it goes into the next step of blanching. So you could see it's like, hey, this was grown on this farm, it was brought here, it was cleaned up by this particular person, and then was gone here and packaged by this particular person. Like, there's a lot of traceability that is required just from government regulation that you could put in to tell like a really meaningful story of everybody involved. I mean, people just don't realize the steps involved to get food onto your table, right?
Yeah,
So to understand that.
all the reality TVs about MasterChef, I don't know, the bakery, whatever. So if you are a bakery company and you show videos of how that dessert, how that special sweet is being made, first you are going to get hungry, and then you want to. It's like a reality TV for free. I don't know, in a way, like if the brands came up with something short and engaging, similar to what they're trying to post already. Probably the same video that they're already posting on Instagram or whatever, they can put it there, and people will and then start going to the social media because of that.
Yeah. Use the QR codes like the salty peanuts at a bar helps you sell more beer, right? So put something on there that is like, all right, now I've watched that. Yeah, I'm ready to eat that. So that's a good point. And I agree. Like overall, Nico, your statement is solid that QR codes are a missed opportunity out in the world in packaging, but eventually it's going to start taking on. I mean, you already see it with not virtual reality, but what's the augmented reality with the wine labels and stuff like that, where you can turn your Snoop Dogg wine label live and he starts talking to you. Like packaging is really turning some pretty cool corners, but at the same time, kind of like what I mentioned before in the unboxing one, like the dichotomy of packaging is so cool, but we're also getting so much packaging from Amazon that is just down and dirty corrugate or paper bags, which is kind of bummer.
Yeah, smart packaging has a huge market, and it's supposed to project to be grown 38 billion by 2030. I mean, that's astronomically huge. So,
but
just your
even
point.
to even to what you're saying, Tom, if it arrives on a brown box from Walmart, Amazon, whatever, okay, the first experience is like, but you have to open that, and if what you open later comes with more information, more graphics, you can still have that. It's not always good to have all that packaging. Depends on where you're buying it. If you're in a store, you need to see it a lot, but also you can transfer that experience to online retail. Now, doesn't always need to be that way, but after the brown box, there's more things inside, so you can continue experiencing it.
That's right. Yeah, that's just
Bottom
like
line,
an initial unboxing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're getting pretty close to our cutoff time, guys. This was I know we just had an episode last week, but this one was fun. Bottom line, have a QR code. Don't pass it up. Make it fun. Make it enjoyable. And Freedom Packaging is here to help you with those QR codes.
Yeah, exactly. Shameless plug by Jeff.
Shameless.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you all, guys. We hope you enjoyed this another 15-minute talk. We know we enjoyed it. We hope you guys have a good day, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Right.